2 года прошло с того момента, когда первый экземпляр автомобиля...
2 years had passed since I first drove LADA 4x4 Urban model. The next logical step was to launch long version of this car. And here it's LADA 4x4 Urban 5 doors modification.
Начнем мы наш тест-драйв с того, что мы совершили.
Let's start from the long drive to the top of the mountain Strelna. Its height 351 meters. It is the highest mountain of the Zhiguli range. During this drive we will check some of the car properties, such as the comfort, including noise and vibration level, and fuel consumption. But first, a little bit of history. In the hot summer of 2014, the first 3-door modification of Niva Urban was introduced to the public. Its appearance caused quite a stir among the Niva enthusiasts. Opinions divided from majority screaming Niva is over to rare approvals it's all good. Of course, the need for some of the changes was already in the air, but to swap good old solid metal bumper for the plastic one, this was unthinkable. There were publications in the all automotive magazines insisting that Urban will lose transfer gear shifting mechanism and diff lock. Who inspired the idea of Niva evolution? It was now ex-president of AUTOVAZ, Swedish national Bo Andersson, and he was only one of the foreign managers who bought their old Soviet Niva long before he came to work in Russia. But the time was shown it was right thing to do. Transfer block hasn't changed, although several trial samples were created but never used in mass-produced cars. In the end, LADA 4x4 Urban remained the workhorse of Russian roads. It didn't lose off-roading abilities even with their plastic bumper. Of course, it wasn't completely modified, but it did look fresher than 40 years ago, and it gained some consumer interest not only in Russia but overseas too. Lower levels of noise and vibration, air conditioning, electric mirrors and electrical window windows instead of ancient handles added the car's appeal. As a result, sales increased in Eastern and Western Europe, former Soviet Union republics, and even South America. Now let's have a look at the interior. The most noticeable difference is the new instrumental panel with the controls for the mirrors and window windows. The panel has got buttons same as LADA Kalina. The passengers of the rear seats have to use all type of window windows. The new electrical window windows mechanism is of a good quality. Now the windows can be opened and closed synchronically, and window glass is not getting stuck as it used to in early models. The button for their air conditioning control moved near to the cigarette lighter and freed space of the main console for the front seat's heater button. The button for the temperature control stayed where it was before. The main advantage of the 5-door model is the possibility to carry 3 passengers on the rear seat legally and the more spacious boot space. The access to the boot compartment is still provided by the handle on the left from the driver's seat. Still, there is no remote locking ability. Inside the boot there is 12-volt socket for the air compressor or car fridge. The parcel shelf design is not up to stretch. Due to fail usage, it needs at least one more support. It would be great if there was possibility to fold the shelf without lifting it. The boot floor carpet is too flat and its edge don't prevent small bits and pieces from going anywhere in the boot while the car is on move. Door locks are pretty smooth and don't require any additional effort to close doors. The same ABS system Bosch is used on 5-door modification as on the previous model, which helps to improve car performance during emergency braking on different types of road surfaces. It allows braking system to apply additional pressure on the brake cylinders according to specially calculated algorithm which recognizes speed and the starting pressure on the brake pedal. This ABS system is vital for urban 5-door model, especially if the car is often used on off-road conditions. The car exterior has got both old and new features, including some badly designed bits. For example, black door handles don't look right together with chrome windows trim. Unfortunately, none of the vast suppliers could offer a new type of the black trim without losing its fundamental properties. Although on official website of the manufacturer it says different. Instead of chrome on the window trim and handles, more suitable black coating. It's time to go. The Urban's 5D fuel tank capacity is 65 liters. It's much more than the 3-door model. The distance we have to cover is slightly longer than 200 kilometers. With a standard fuel consumption of 10 liters per 100 kilometers, I expect it will take about 20 liters of petrol. But keeping in mind air conditioning permanently on and mountain route, the fuel consumption can go higher, up to 12 liters per 100. Hot July weather requires that air conditioning is switched on permanently. To keep the big car with 5 passengers cool enough, we have to keep the level of ventilation system on the second speed. The noise is noticeable but tolerable. Same is for the other sources of noise, for example the one coming from transmission. The level of noise and vibration stays within permissible limits while we reach the speed 90 km per hour. The warning signal for unfastening driver's seat belt, which appeared in this model, bleeps for about 90 seconds. If you ignore the sound, you can drive on without fastening it till next time engine is off. Transmission works quite smoothly on the real road. Long base and high clearance allow for the better drive on uneven road, totally ignoring small dips. But 5-door LADA is not the same famous off-roader as old classic 3-door Niva. It lost some of its maneuverability and agility. Instead, due to the long base and updated suspension, it gains some advantage on the real roads. If you drive on the bad road at the speed below 40 km per hour, there will be noticeable swing from side to side, or advantage of the updated suspension are most apparent at the speed 60-70 km per hour on the road with dashboard profile. This is an optimal speed for the suspension to absorb all that heat, and the level of the noise and vibration inside the car are much lower than in the same 3-door model. The main reason for this is its longer base. Probably there is a possibility to minimize those levels even further by reducing the noise from transfer case. Increasing length of the car is also a reason for the bigger radius of turning circle, which may affect their ability to turn around on the narrow roads. For instance, on the 4 meters stretch of road, which is equal to the length of the car, it took 9 points to fully turn around. This means there is no possibility to quick turn even in good dry weather, never mind the winter. The angle of drive-in, drive-out are the same, but the ramp angle is much bigger. That should be taken into consideration if driven on a bumpy surface. It's true for all 5-door versions of LADA 4x4. In the meantime, all 214 kilometers of the test drive are behind now, and we are calculating the fuel consumption. Here is a big surprise. I have used only 16.5 liters of the AI95G drive petrol. Usually fuel gauge on Urban is not that accurate, but I have poured only 20 liters of petrol in the almost dry tank, and it still shows considerable reserve of the fuel. So the fuel consumption was 7.8 liters per 100. What a surprise! I don't know why it's so low, but have one guess. Right before this drive, the car was fully serviced with all oils and other liquids changed. It usually improved fuel economy up to 1.5 liters in the city driving condition on the urban 3-door models.
Я хочу пару фраз сказать. Вот мы сейчас по проселку едем со скоростью 60 км в час.
We are driving on the rural road with the speed 70 km per hour. Thanks to long bait, the car drives pretty smooth without swinging from side to side. This is the main advantage of the LADA 4x4 Urban 5-door model comparing to other cars. I do believe that this car is the king of Russian rural roads. Urban 5-door modification is manufactured on the main production lines in AUTOVAZ. Altogether in 2017 will be produced about 2,000 cars, which will be the third part of all LADA 4x4 5-door models. This modification comes in only one most full lux specification with price tag 551,000 rubles including discount. And it's the only one fully functional off-roader in Russia with the price below $9,000. To compare, Urban Plus 3-door modification is selling for about 13,000 euro in Germany, and the cheapest version in Kazakhstan is selling for about $10,000.